All right, good morning, everybody. This is Scales Sports reporting on Game 5, OKC versus Indiana. Getting right into it, Pacers drop Game 5 to the Oklahoma City Thunder, 120 to 109. A lot of great things to pack here. Obviously, the biggest talk is J-Dub, 40 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, and a steal. One of the best finals performances I think by anybody, let alone a 24-year old third year. This is the game everybody was expecting for him to have, and he did it in a huge pivotal game 5 with the opportunity now to close in game 6. SGA 31 points. Um, Finally got some assists, 4 steals, 2 assists, and a block. So he's continuing his MVP race for Finals MVP. And then obviously we got back to our double big lineup with Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein in the lineup. Chet with 1 point shy of a double double, 9 points, 11 rebounds. Hartenstein just did everything he could and to make sure we had some great passes, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 points. Look, the game is not really where the breakdown needs to be now because there's a lot of other things that are going to start happening. There's some conversations that are about to begin, and I want to try to do my best to prepare you all, whether you are a Thunder fan or not, whether you're a Pacers fan or not. If you are just a fan of sports in general, fan of the league, there's a couple things I'm going to need to prepare you for. Number one, regardless of how you feel towards Oklahoma City, they will be your 2024-2025 NBA champions. Regardless of how you feel about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he is going to be your finals MVP. There are going to be comps between KD, Russ, and Harden, and Chet, J-Dub, and Shai as to what was done in 2012 and what was done in 2025. And the 2025 comp is already winning because they have more finals victories than that team did and got us one closer to winning the championship versus only being 3 away. Those conversations are starting to happen. Another thing to prepare for. This is for the Thunder fans for the most part. You will have to defend your 2024-2025 NBA championship by winning one in 2025 and 2026 because for whatever reason there's so much discourse between ethical hoops and SGA getting to the rim as if none of your favorite players of the past have done the same thing. We've seen push offs from Jordan. We've seen the arm hook from Kobe. We've seen Harden do this his entire MVP season. But for whatever reason, when it comes to the Thunder and SGA, maybe it's because you can't root for him because you've chosen to be a Lakers fan or a Knicks fan or a big market team. Maybe it's that. Maybe you want to see your team succeed, so you're going to crap on everybody else's team. Maybe it's that. But this is starting to be a situation where they win the title this year, great. Doing it again next year will intensify this championship that was made because they're going to say, oh, well, you played the Grizzlies and you were down 29 while John Morant was in the game and healthy. And yes, you came back and won, but you wouldn't have won that series if John Morant was healthy. He figured you all out. Then you go into Denver. Oh, well, Aaron Gordon was hurt with a hamstring game 7. Jokic didn't really have any help. Michael Porter Jr. was hurt the entire time with his shoulder. He wasn't going to be as efficient as he could have been. Not discrediting that Jamal Murray didn't play to his all-star level, and Jokic had a couple of different games where he did not play to his all-world MVP caliber level either. The conversation is just going to be Aaron Gordon was hurt in game 7 and we shouldn't have won even though we won that handily. I don't know what the conversation was with the Minnesota series other than any kind of foul baiting or ethical hoops because SGA was getting to the line or whatever the case is. And then we get to this series where during the second quarter, Tyrese Halliburton has calf soreness. The one thing I was hoping to get away from in this series was any injury on either side because I didn't want whether the and this wouldn't have happened if the Pacers win the championship, this wouldn't have even been a conversation. It would have been, oh good, the Pacers saved basketball because the Thunder didn't do it for whatever hate watch reason there is. But I didn't want anybody to win a title off of an injury saying, oh well, a star got hurt and that's why the other team won. So now we go into game 6 where Rick Carlisle has said, hey, he's not 100%, talking about Tyrese Halliburton. He's not 100%. He still played the most minutes out of everybody. Oh, sorry, he played 34 minutes last night. Nimhard was ahead. So he played the second most minutes out of everybody, but went 0 for 6, 0 for 4 from 3, and just made 4 free throws. 6 assists and 7 rebounds. Can't discredit those either, but he didn't make a field goal the entire game. Some of that could have been injury, but you play 34 minutes and you're out there, something's got to go. But people are going to say they're going to use the injury as to why he didn't score any points in 34 minutes and say, well, if Halliburton was completely healthy, you know, the Pacers finish that fourth quarter comeback where they got down 2. They finished that fourth quarter comeback and have a similar game to game 1. But J-Dub and Chet both said in their post-game interviews, we learned from game 1. It looked and felt the exact same as game 1, but we were more prepared this time and knew what we needed to do to close it out. That is the sign of a champion. That is the sign of somebody that is about to close out the series. That's why I trust that they will end it in game 6. We are not having this come back to Paycom. It is over in Indiana. They've learned. They got it. They went back to their 2 big rotation. That's where that series ends on Thursday. Be prepared for that. I didn't want Halliburton hurt. But I think anybody that's in the league or anybody that's covering sports, 34 minutes and no points, no field goals, 4 points off of free throws. If everyone is claiming for Tyrese Halliburton to be a superstar, and believe me, I was one of the people that was just defending him as a top 12 star in the league. But with this, I can't keep him in there anymore. I mean, hurt or not, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, okay. Hurt or not, if you are a star, a superstar in the league, we got to account for you to have a better night than that. We got to account. Siakam went out there with 28 points, and he's probably the 1A he's the 1B on the team. Um, I think he's the best player on the team, in my opinion, because he already has the championship DNA and done some great things in the past with the Raptors. But Tyrese, no points, 34 minutes of cardio. You can't defend it. It's hard to defend, and we'll. I doubt he bounces back from this, but the way we cover championships, this hurts his legacy because he will be 0-1 in the finals. He'll never have an opportunity to say he was undefeated in the finals or go up and say he was 1-2. He won. You know, he got into 6 and won 6. He'll never have to have that conversation. He'll never be in that conversation. But we're not going to continue to talk about him because we have a lot more to talk about on the Thunder side in terms of giving Jalen Williams his credit. 40 points, four assists, 6 rebounds, and a steal. Look, this is why you let things play out. You don't completely judge too fast, too quick. And I think a lot of people had way higher expectations for J Dub and Chet in their third year, which I don't even think we put this much pressure on James Harden, Russ, or KD. It was, hey, Jalen, you got to do something to get this team relevant. And I think I see the case where it's starting where he could become finals MVP if the right people are watching and voting, because his impact of what he's done over the last 3 games cannot be discredited. So, game 4, they put the ball in his hands more coming up the court to get past half court because obviously Nimhard and Matherin were giving so much pressure to SGA that he was losing so much gas in game 3 that he couldn't really finish the game. And Jalen now is the one that's bringing the ball up court, getting it past half court, and he's been somewhere the primary ball handler on most possessions going up the floor, which obviously frees Shea up to do what he does with, hey, 31 points. Not his most efficient night, which is probably going to be a knock against him for MVP, but I still think he gets it because he's averaging 30. Only 9 for 21 shooting for Shea with 14 free throws, 31 points. But J Dub, 56%, 14 for 25, 3 for 5 from 3, with only 12 free throw attempts, hitting 9 of them. He had the better game last night, but everybody in this series has had one game outside of SGA that has set us apart. Aaron Wiggins had Aaron Wiggins had a great game in game 2, which pushed us forward. Another great performance in game 5 by Jalen Williams, which set us apart. I think Chet had the double double in game 4, which set us apart. So there's a lot of things that really helped us out here. But Jalen Williams is exactly who we thought he was going to be on his third year, and he's only going to get better. Dropping 40 points in a finals game is no joke, and I think I saw that he is the youngest player to do it within the last, yes, youngest player with 40 points or more in the NBA Finals in the last 50 years. The last person to do it was Russ when he was 23 against the Heat almost 13 years ago. Very interesting that, we had somebody on the Thunder that did it again. I'm I'm pretty sure there's conversations about J Dub potentially becoming the MVP, especially if he has another 30 to 35 point performance on efficient shooting. We could have a situation like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, but I don't think the league is going to allow for that because Tatum was not an MVP that year. I don't think they're going to allow a current most valuable player to become to I don't think they're going to allow that person that wins MVP throughout the season to just be like, oh, yeah, you're not the finals MVP either, especially if you're averaging 30.4 in this specific NBA finals. SGA, 37 minutes, played the most minutes on the team, still got his rest. I I think if we see a big, more efficient game from Shea in game 6 to close this one out, we're good. That kills it. Game over. Game 6, we're out of here. My prediction is game 6, we're done. I don't see any reason why we don't end up going back to. I don't see any reason why we go back to Paycom for game 7. Game 6 is where it's over. So um, we'll get into more reaction with that. We'll get into more predictions as we go into game 6 for that. Get some picks posted up. But just to recap, Oklahoma City 120, Indiana 109. Leading scorer for all teams, Jalen Williams, 40 points, his first 40-point finals game at age 24, the third youngest to do it in the last 50 years. Magic and Russ were the last other two. You also had SGA 31 points, 9 for 21 shooting on 14 free throw attempts, making 13, continuing his run of averaging 30 throughout the NBA Finals. Tyrese Halliburton, no points, 34 minutes, a couple steals, couple assists, a couple rebounds, couple of assists, but obviously no points, held by that calf injury. Um, we'll see how that plays out as we go into game six. Hopefully he's healthy enough to play. I'm pretty sure if he's as tough as he says he is, and obviously players in the finals, he is going to play game six and game seven if necessary, but obviously a big drop there. Also, Pascal Siakam, 28 points, leading all Pacers scorers. First time that I've seen that all 6 or 7 Pacers were not in double digits, only about 4 or 5 this time that hit double digit scoring. So, a lot of stuff that's going to end up being talked about throughout the offseason after we win the title, because I think it's going to be expected that we go back and win next year as well as this year to make sure that this title is just as strong as the one coming up. So appreciate y'all for watching. Thank y'all so much. If y'all can like, comment, share, and subscribe to anything. This is I don't want to say biased. I'm starting to get a little bit of content on both teams. Obviously, it's very clear that I'm a Thunder fan, but I want to start reporting on both sides. This channel is going to have a lot more content coming in as we start to get into the NFL season. Also, a lot of things to talk about on that side as well. So keep everything posted here. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Again, greatly appreciate y'all tuning in to Scale Sports.